going to visit the 3 most prominent train stations in the recent history of Tacoma. As we drive to Tacoma, we go past Tacoma Station. Tacoma Station was where Amtrak trains stopped from 1984 until 2021 with the reopening of the Lakewood subdivision. As you can see, the station has been boarded up and is not in the best condition. Now we have arrived at Tacoma Dome Station, the current home of 3 different rail lines. Tacoma Dome Station is a stop for Amtrak on the Cascades and Coast Starlight services. On weekdays, the Sounder train also stops at the station while traveling to and from Seattle. This station was opened for commuter rail in 2003, whereas the Amtrak section of the station was completed in 2017. Unfortunately, it didn't see consistent service until 2021 due to the Amtrak accident on the Lakewood subdivision, which kept the old Tacoma station open until running on the bypass restarted. The stations are connected to Freight House Square, a small shopping and dining complex. I like to think of it as Tacoma's Pike Place Market, but much less popular. Amtrak and Sounder run on the same tracks at Tacoma Dome Station, but there's another rail line in the street in front of the station. This is the Sound Transit T-Line streetcar, which stretches through downtown Tacoma. We will be taking this to our next location. The train we're taking is actually a new streetcar that is used on the T-Line while Sound Transit prepares to open the Hilltop extension. It is very clean and modern looking inside. There's only one stop between us and our next destination. We've now arrived at Tacoma Union Station. This was the main station from its opening in 1911 until it closed in 1984. It is now a federal courthouse. It is closed today because it is the weekend, but we can walk across this bridge to see the exterior. It is a very unique structure. It has much more personality than the more modern Amtrak stations. Back when it was a train station, there was no highway here. A footbridge spanned over the tracks and there were stairs down to the platforms. Tacoma does not carry the same volume of rail service that it once did, but for a city of its size, I would say that the transit is acceptable by the standards of the United States. Since we can't go into Union Station today, let's cross the street and see an interesting relic. Across from Union Station is the University of Washington-Tacoma. We can walk up the steps toward the asymmetrical W, and what is this? It's a railroad crossing. That's right, trains once ran right through this college campus. This wasn't a public transit utopia, however, but a connection between the Lakewood subdivision and the BNSF Seattle subdivision. Here is some sort of railroad contraption, perhaps a track switch. You can see multiple crossing sign boxes around the campus. Well, that's all for the exploring today. Let's talk about Tacoma as a whole. The biggest problem with transit in Tacoma is the poor frequency. Amtrak services are the least frequent, but this is acceptable considering that the train runs all the way to Eugene, Oregon for the Cascades and Los Angeles, California for the Coast Starlight. The Sounder commuter train is exactly what it sounds like, a commuter train that only runs during rush hour and on weekdays. The frequency works for commuters, but not for anybody else, which makes the service much less valuable than it should be. The most egregious problem in my eyes is with the T-Line and the bus routes in Tacoma. The bus routes only run once every 30 to 60 minutes, while the T-Line runs every 20 minutes. For such a short streetcar line, you would want to have much better frequency than that. Overall, I'm grateful that Tacoma has this many transit options at all, but we could all benefit from raising our standards for transit in the United States. I hope that you have enjoyed this video. Please leave a like and subscribe for more interesting content.